What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Derby Wormy. I'm coming at you with another video, and this story honestly went away 2 months ago. It came, it went, it was like a fart in the wind. But Sweet Baby Inc. boycott crushes Tales of Kenzara Zao as game's total concurrent player peaked at just 287. This game was a fart in the wind. It came and it went. That's all it was. It was developed hand in hand with Sweet Baby Inc. And you just have to come over here to see more of it from Grums. We went over this 2 months ago. The director of it was actually a Sweet Baby Inc. employee for a long time. I did not know this until today, honestly, because I don't pay attention to a lot of voice actors' names a lot of times or anything like that. But the director of this game, Abakaru Salim, has done some decent work. He was Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins. He's done cool stuff within World of Warcraft, Diablo, Xenoblade. Like, he's done decent things. And it really does look like his first flop was Tales of Kenzara Zao. And that was pretty much it. Like, he is an accomplished actor. He's going to be in the season 2 of House of the Dragon. He was in Napoleon. He Legend of Vox Machine. I guess that's that wolf thing, or Raised by Wolves or whatever. Like, he is an accomplished actor. I'm not going to discredit him on that. He's had successful things. So when it comes to this game, it's not because, you know, it's an African story that players didn't want to participate in it. Players didn't want to participate because, one, people weren't really interested in it, and two, the Sweet Baby Inc. stuff. Sweet Baby Inc. is still a mighty powerful thing, and let's not mince hairs here. No gamer wants to participate with Sweet Baby Inc. They're really tired of these diversity companies. The concept of Zao, I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with some Kenyan story and people making this story, but you have to realize that if you're going to do this, you're going to be limiting your whole player base. That's just going to be the reality of things. So when you come back over here to That Park Place, Tales of Kinzaru director Abakara Salim plays diversity victim and discounts game after boycott crushes it. Remember, this game only saw a peak of 287 players, and right now, it only sees like 31 players here on the Steam DB and 11 players playing right now. Like, nobody's playing this game. It came and it went. You can see it right here. Launches here and then immediately drops. So nobody cared. Nobody wanted to play it. So when you see it go on sale, it's pretty obvious that the game isn't doing well. The game's not succeeding. But when we actually get to his words, it's so pathetic. Because again, I said it, nobody didn't want to play this game because it was an African game. You just already limited your player base. It was the Sweet Baby Inc. angle. But let's see what he had to say, shall we, as I full screen it.
So I didn't want to address this, but...
You don't want to address it, but you are.
We're here now. Look, since the beginning of my career, there's always been someone who's made me feel like I didn't deserve the opportunity I got. From Assassin's Creed to Raised by Wolves, you know.
Why? Why did people do that to you? Nobody's saying, I never heard anybody say anything mean to you in regards to Assassin's Creed. You played a very good character. People liked Bayek. Who's saying this? Oh, you're only bringing this up now because of my diversity and my games failing. I didn't even hear anybody say anything bad about your casting at House of the Dragon. But your game's failing, so you're now oppressed.
I've had to ignore people saying that it wasn't the work that got me the opportunities. No, it was simply because I'm black.
Well, in the year of 2024, I hate to say that is the thing that people have to watch out for. I hate that. I do hate that. A lot of people do get hired based on box checking now. Heck, we'll go back to his words, but we scroll right down here. They pointed out Ubisoft hires people based on box checking. I hate that. I don't like that people think that. I don't like how people work that way. You've done good work. This is just one flop and now you're crying about it.
And look, I've turned the other cheek and just kept doing my thing. Even when people were saying, oh, the only reason why he's been cast as father in Raised by Wolves is because the character's a service model.
I don't know what Raised by Wolves is, so I'm not going to address that.
Some of these comments, a few of them you can just brush off, but when it's a constant barrage of them, it's exhausting. So when I look at Zhao, it's reached this fever pitch.
Has it? I don't hear anything. You brought it back up. Nobody was talking about it. It's a dead game.
And look, don't get me wrong, right? There has been so much amazing and beautiful support for this game. The fact that it has inspired so many people and touched, so many lives. It was one of our goals from the outset to have this positive impact, right?
283 players on Steam.
But at the same time, we are being faced with constant, targeted harassment.
There it is. Targeted harassment? Who's talking about this game? Legitimately. And I don't like to talk about views or anything like that. I bet this video I'm doing right now is going to get barely any views because I have seen literally nobody talking about this game. It dropped and then disappeared. It failed on arrival. If people like the game, go ahead, go like the game. It failed. Hands down, it failed. I showed you the Steam chart. It just went whoo right away. Because nobody was interested in this game. Nobody cared about this game. You didn't market it to the correct audience. That's reality. Nobody cares that it's an African game. People just didn't want to support Sweet Baby Inc. It's as simple as that.
From people who see diversity as a threat.
Who says that we see diversity as a threat? I liked you in Assassin's Creed Origins. It wasn't my favorite game, but I liked you. Nobody has a problem with you in House of the Dragon. Nobody has a problem with you in half your other work that you've done. So why do they see diversity as a threat now? Oh, because your game's failing and you're crying about it. So you're having to say, oh, it's all the racists who see diversity as a threat. Oh, that's why my game failed and we have to put it on discount now.
From people who look across the vast landscape of modern media and decide that anything that doesn't speak to them or centers around them is unnecessary. And
that sounds a lot like you guys, though. Seriously, that sounds a lot like the left right now. If it doesn't speak to them, if it doesn't center around them, it's unnecessary. I don't give a crap what your race is. I don't give a crap who you bone. I don't give a crap about any of that stuff. I don't want it shoved in my face the whole time. Your game didn't fail because of this race allegory or the South African stuff or whatever area of Africa it was in. Kenya, was it? I don't know. It was just a game you put out, didn't do well, but people didn't want to play it because of the Sweet Baby Inc. We've been over this.
And inauthentic. And look, there's always a...
Wait, inauthentic? Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we get nowadays is inauthentic, and it's just done for box checking.
A reason why diverse stories can't exist.
No, they can exist. All these stories can exist. People just aren't willing to tell them. And here's the downside to this game. I'll point this out, and I'll side with him a little bit. Downside to this game, because you teamed up with Sweet Baby Inc. and you put out a platformer that didn't really look that interesting at all, you're probably not going to see a lot of mega corporations like Activision, EA, or any of these guys actually put money and effort into these more interesting storylines, into these more curious areas in the world, because you guys just keep putting your politics behind it the entire time and pushing it out with diversity and saying that's why you need to play the game because a guy who made it was black. It's a black story. It's this. Instead of just, hey, here's a game. It's a story. Go play it. If you like it, like it. If you don't, you don't. Just say stuff like that. People would probably been more interested in your game, but you didn't. You went from the racist angle from the beginning. So people said, no, we don't want to be a part of this anymore.
It's always either we're doing it the wrong way, or it's just there to tick boxes.
Well, you are doing it the wrong way, and a lot of time it is there just to tick boxes.
And it's just beginning to feel like, there is no right way. You know, these exclusionary rules just continue to stack up, and the goalposts continue to shift.
What? You can do the same thing to him. You can do literally the same thing to him. I forgot to pull up the story, but in Hollywood right now, they have race box checking outright to the point that male and pale is stale. You can't just be a one-off, you have to be a twofer or a threefer in order to get a role, in order to get a gig. It's this constant gaslighting, because he's not going to tell you what really happened, because he's crying and he's sad that his game failed. He's so sad that his game failed that he did a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 thread post talking about it on Twitter. And I'll start here because I can hit most of these really quick because he doesn't say anything. I've been reading a lot of comments and opinions on the video I posted Friday, and I wanted to thank those who have shown their support. I'm aware that the world doesn't revolve around social media, but there is something to be said about seeing that love and support come from so many people. Thank you. I often choose to ignore these comments and replies, but doing so can also give bad faith actors the freedom to willfully misunderstand me, hijack the conversation, and distract people from a message. Okay, well, what do you have? This was a marketing gimmick. No, since the first moments of creating this game, the focus was on my father's legacy and what I wanted to leave behind to represent that. Okay. Why drop the price of your game? It's our way of making a statement in the face of targeted harassment. If your game's doing well, why drop the price? Why not just keep it out as it is? Why do any of this if the game's doing well? But here's my favorite one. The game isn't selling well. Also false. I've addressed this in an AMA Reddit. The numbers some are circulating are a fraction of our actual playership, and they're being shared in bad faith by people who are wanting to provide proof that their harassment campaign has been successful in punishing us for daring to take up space. It's never about you taking up space. It was always about Sweet Baby Inc. But okay, you say this, okay? What's your numbers then? Because we go through on, there's no proof of harassment. I don't see it. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Okay, no proof. You don't have proof of this. You're not giving us any information here. And it's so bad. He quote tweeted that Park Place's article on this and says this: I keep seeing the same talking points over and over again, even after they've been addressed. My previous post on my thread addresses this explicitly. The numbers some are circulating are a fraction of our actual playership, and they're being shared in bad faith by people who are wanting to provide proof that their harassment campaign has been successful in punishing us for daring to take up space. This is like a terrible Yu-Gi-Oh match. Where's the numbers? If the numbers are wrong, if the numbers are false and are a fraction of who's actually playing, then you should be proud to come out here and tell us what the real numbers are. You obviously have them, so what's the real numbers? Because a lot of people here, all we got is this. 287 peak players, 11 players right now, 31 24-hour peak. What's the real numbers? If these are the numbers we got, what's the real numbers? Oh, you're not sharing them. You don't want to share them because your game flopped. If you were so confident and how good your game was doing, you wouldn't be crying right now. You wouldn't be coming out here saying the numbers are good and trying to ignore the fact that you dropped the prices on the game. All this adds up to your game failed and you're sad about it. Now you're going to play the victim racism card that didn't exist, and you guys gaslit the audience because of that. Nobody cared that it was some Kenyan, South African, whatever game that came from your father's story. Nobody cared about that. They didn't want to support Sweet Baby Inc. Your game didn't speak to them. It wasn't interesting to them. So what? Oh, but you should have played my game. You should have played it. And you come back over here to this thread. You get to his last one. The game is mid, hence the sale. I think it's totally cool if the experience didn't gel with you. And feedback received has been incredibly valuable. So if the game didn't gel with people and people just weren't interested, does that still mean that they're racist? Does that still mean that they're attacking you? Does that still mean they're bad people? If it's okay that some people thought it was just mid and they didn't want to get, the audiences didn't want to give you money because it looks mid, it looks bland, it looks boring. Is that okay? No, because you're still crying about it. Get over yourself. You've done great things in the past. I have to be honest. You've done great things in the past. Where was all the people crying about this? Where was all the people screaming about this? Where are the people upset that you're going to be in House of the Dragon? They don't exist. You're making up a narrative right now because your game flopped and you need to blame something instead of, I teamed up with Sweet Baby Inc. and it was probably just not a game I should have put out right now. Maybe I should have made the game a little bit more interesting. Maybe I should have marketed it a little bit a different way. Maybe I should have just accepted that it's an indie game and it ain't gonna do great. But no, because your game flopped immediately, you went with Sweet Baby Inc. and EA, you're crying about it. That's how this all comes off. That's how this continues to come off. And instead of telling people what the actual numbers are, you're saying that we're misrepresenting the facts when you don't even tell us what the facts are. That's how it comes off as. Another crybaby upset that nobody wanted to play their game. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out with friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video go live. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.